Hey there, it's Heather with Heather's Healing, and I wanted to come on and do a video for the summer solstice, which is this Thursday. So today is the day I'm recording this is June 17th, 2024. So I'll just go ahead and get started. Thanks so much for watching. I live in the Northern Hemisphere, so I'm doing the video looking at summer solstice energy. All of the high holidays I feel are big portal energies. They bring through a lot of information, healing, usually light codes, all sorts of things to help us level up and just to help us on our path. So I wasn't entirely sure what I was really feeling with this solstice, to be quite honest. So I asked my guides. One of my main guides is Metatron that I work with. So I asked Metatron, what should I talk about in this video? What would be helpful regarding summer solstice? And here's what I got. I got Copper, Canary, Golden Healer, and Solitude. And I was like, well, crap, I don't know where I'm going with any of that. So I looked at the numerology, and when I look at numerology, I'm using the color mirrors system. So I was looking at the energies of 16 and 7. Okay, so here we go. So here's so in the color mirror system, the bottle number 16 represents the Tower card. Interesting, right? I found it interesting because I was like, can we just do a happy video? I tend to go really deep. My guides tend to go really deep. I'm not good at surface level stuff. So of course we dive right in with the Tower. So if you're not familiar with tarot, I pulled a Tower card. This is from the Secrets of the Witch's Garden, and it's a birdhouse on fire. So the Tower energy. So 16 in the color mirrors system is represented by the colors olive and lilac. So here's kind of the theme of this summer solstice, and what I believe is coming up. But in hindsight, these are energies that have been coming up for a while now. I've really been noticing it in the readings I've been doing lately. Like, these are themes. So as soon as I started, reading about these colors and then tapping into the energies, I was like, well, yeah, this is totally what has been coming through for a good 6 months now. So the olive and lilac, I'm just going to read you my notes, and then we can pull some cards on each item, and we'll just see what we get. Thanks for being here. So the Tower card represents old beliefs and structures built upon old beliefs or old beliefs. Interesting, I said reliefs. That's another thing that's been coming up. So a lot of our belief systems aren't really our beliefs. It's conditioning that has came through, our cultures, our family, our, religious organizations, and they're things that many of us, I think, feel like we need to believe in for whatever reason. But it actually, if it isn't a true belief, it isn't going to bring you relief. It's actually going to bring you a lot of discomfort and pain. Let me go back to my notes here. So the Tower card represents old beliefs and structures built upon old beliefs. It's these structures and belief systems crumbling. They're not working for us anymore. They're falling apart. And many are no longer able to hold up the facade. You're realizing this. And I can't tell you how many readings recently, well, within the last 6 months, have been talking about individuals leaving their religious organizations. It's no longer a fit for them. It no longer represents what they believe. And I've never really been tied into a religion. I just desperately tried to fit into a few different ones, and it just never worked for me. So this isn't so much my wounding, but what I've noticed with a lot of these individuals is this is massive. It's a massive change to move, to leave a religion, to leave that structured. It almost kind of feels like a safety net. So I think for some people, this solstice, that knowing that this isn't working anymore is really going to come front and center. I feel like that's been coming front and center for a long time, you know, for many people. But that's huge. That's a huge subject in itself. That maybe could be another video if you guys are interested, or if this is speaking to you. You know, I can consider doing a video on that. Again, that's not really my path and my experience, but I've seen enough of it to know it's very disruptive. It definitely is a tower moment because it disrupts family systems. It totally, you have to rethink and re-look at everything all over again. Very interesting. But the other theme that Metatron brought up was the summer solstice is a time to recharge. And I feel like the way we are going to be able to recharge is by no longer trying to hold on to beliefs that we don't believe in anymore. Or maybe we never believed in them. We just felt we needed to say we believed it. So that's something that's going to be coming up with the Tower card. And it doesn't have to be a religion. It can just be beliefs, ways of living that you are realizing are not serving you anymore. And again, these are things that have been coming up for a while. This isn't going to be anything new. Do I want to pull a card on that? Actually, let me go through and read this, and then we'll pull some cards. So looking at the colors, olive and green. So in the color mirror system, the bottle number 16 is olive, green, and yellow, which is heart and solar plexus. It's being authentic. It's empowered and open to healing. It's being open to the parts of you screaming for help. And like I said, this isn't anything new. The other interesting thing that I found about this, I recorded some videos over the weekend. I haven't posted, well, they're actually still uploading. I will probably post them next week. But in one of the readings, it's a pick-a-pile style. I love saying that, reading. And one of the piles was heavy on heart healing. And something that was coming up was the need to really look at our cardiovascular health and heart health as well. So I found that interesting that this was coming up in this reading too. So the energy that I'm really getting from the solstice is tied into our belief systems and how being inauthentic is damaging our physical body. And also, I believe a part of our not being authentic is tapped into, beliefs, but also not wanting to take responsibility for our physical health. I think that's a part of it too. So, you know, physical health, belief systems, that's going to be coming up a lot. It already has, but I think you'll really notice it this summer solstice. I have a cat. Hopefully it's not the orange one. If so, I might have to pause the video. So, what are the parts of you that are screaming for help physically? Like, what physical parts of your body have been screaming for help? Like, we need to do things different. It's also just being a good parent to yourself, taking care of yourself, doing the things that you know you need to do, you know you should do, the things that you've been putting off, all the shit that we don't want to talk about or look at, basically. It's going to be very highlighted this summer solstice. The other color that comes through with the number 16 is lilac. So that's connecting with spirit, that's connecting with your higher self, with your guides. It's tuning into your guidance system and really asking the question, what is true for me? What changes do I need to make? What is really working for me and what isn't working for me? So the other part of that number system that I was looking at was, so you take 16, I took the date, so you add up 6, 20, 20, 24, you get 16. So 16 is the Tower card, that's the olive and lilac. And then I add 6 and 7 together to get 7. 6 and 1, I mean, to get 7. So now we're going to look at the energy of 7, which I thought was really interesting because, again, this has been coming up a lot. So 7 is the bottle is turquoise and deep turquoise are the colors, and it's linked into Neptune. Interesting. So it's, you know, water energy. We're talking about summer solstice, but we're bringing in heavy water energy. I think we are moving into Cancer season on that same day, which Cancer's water. Anyway, okay, so Neptune asks you to go deep within your emotions to see what's there, to see what's lurking, to see what you've been suppressing, really, and what needs to be released. Neptune also speaks to faith, miracles, illusions, mysteries, things being unveiled, things being brought to the surface. And I feel like this is on an individual level. Yeah, it's going to be happening, you know, on the world stage too, but I'm looking more at us individually. We're part of the world stage, but I'm looking at us. So the collective here that follow me. So it's really asking us to no longer avoid emotions or trying to fit those emotions into a system or structure that no longer makes sense. Going back to the Tower card here. I also, with the Neptune energy, I was really getting the feeling of it's time to make a choice. It's time to make a commitment or maybe recommit to something. So definitely see what comes up for you around the solstice, around suppressed emotions, around health, healing, the physical, your physical structure, what needs to be worked on or tweaked. I know for myself, I know for myself, it is definitely taking a look at my physical well-being, getting more exercise, and eating a little better. I don't eat horribly, but I love sugar. So working on that. I also feel like around this time, around summer solstice, there's going to be a lot of secrets and revelations that come about. Things are being revealed and unveiled. It's almost like the fog is being lifted from many of us. And I think I spoke about this in a recent reading as well. I can't remember if that was one I posted on YouTube or if that was a personal reading, but a lot of people, that fog is being lifted, that veil is being lifted, and it's becoming really clear as far as what needs to change, what is working and what isn't working, all of those types of things. And I'll pull some cards and we'll go in deeper on each one of these. I just kind of wanted to hit the topics that Metatron brought up. The next one, Canary. I'm trying to say, should I pull cards here? Okay, yeah. So let's go ahead and pull, before I go on to Canary, let's put the Tower card back in here. And I'm pulling from The Secrets of the Witch's Garden, which is a fun deck. I'm really enjoying it. And it's new, so I'm still new to me. So I'm still kind of getting used to the cards and the energies. Okay, so let's look at, I'm really hoping the sound is going to be okay. I had to put my mic in a different spot, so it's fine. Okay, so let's look at the energy of the olive and lilac, the old beliefs and structures that are crumbling, beliefs that we can't fake our way through it. Let's look at that in the energy of olive, the green and the yellow, the heart and solar. So what's coming up for us, for the collective around, let's do 3 cards. the olive, and olive is the colors of green and yellow. So that's being authentic, empowered, open to healing. So 3 cards regarding the energy of number 16 and the energy of olive. What else would you like us to know? Let's do 3 cards. And I know you can't see the cards that I'm pulling, but I'll show you the cards. I was just going to say I'm working with what I got. And Metatron said, remind everybody you're working with what you have. So, you know, this isn't about going and spending a lot of money or coaching or all of that. We're working with what we have and where we are right now. So we have the 2 of Swords coming up, the 2 of Swords in reverse. This to me, oftentimes when I see this card reversed or upright, it's telling me we already know the changes that we need to make. We know we're at the fork in the road and we know what direction we need to go. It's making that commitment to actually make that change. And also just to see things for how they really are. I feel like once we get to a place where we can see things for how they really are, it makes it easier to make that change or to commit to doing something different. It also goes along with acceptance. Interesting. My gosh. If I had like, I don't know, $1 for every time these same cards have came up recently, I'd have a nice little bonus. So we have the 5 of Cups. We have the 5 of Cups in reverse, and I love this. So, you know, this is looking at what is no longer serving us. It's the areas of life that have brought us the most grief, that have brought us the most, and it's the inner turmoil. It's that inner grief. It's that type of energy that you feel it, it's kind of always eating away at you, but you just ignore it and you put on your happy face and you go about your life. You might talk about these emotions and feelings with maybe close friends, but for the most part, close friends or family, but maybe a therapist. But mostly these are feelings that you keep to yourself. There's situations and things that really are bothering you. And maybe there's a part of you that's hoping they'll just go away. This is coming to a place where realizing we can't do that anymore. That's not working. It's not serving us. And if we continue to ignore it, it's going to become a problem. And this feels more physical. So what is that for you? The clue is what I was saying, that deep grief, that inner turmoil, the things that just you have, it's been an ongoing, you know, struggle. The cool thing here is this card's in reverse. So that means we're to a point now where we're open to healing that. We're open to releasing this grief, this sorrow, this constant, you know, inner turmoil, this constant fighting with ourselves. So that will be coming up for healing this summer solstice. So see if you can feel into, and this feels very physical. This is going to be something linked to your physical health, which plays a huge part in our mental well-being as well, and also emotional well-being. So see if you can take a look at that and what's coming up for you. You know, for me, I know it's definitely, you know, physical health, losing weight, eating better, you know, all the shit we know we should do. Stuff we know we should do. Just FYI, I swear. I will do my best to censor my swearing on here, but if you meet me in real life, I swear. And I find it very therapeutic. So I'm not meaning to offend anybody. Third card I got here. So interesting, all the cards are in reverse. The third card I got here is the Ace of Wands, or the Ace of Swords in reverse. I love this deck. It's really pretty. So this is, we can no longer run from our whatever we've been denying. And this feels very personal. This feels, it's almost like I don't know, maybe I'll just use myself as an example. And this is going to be physical. This really feels physical. A lot of what's coming through this summer solstice is very physical. These are things that we've been ignoring in our life that are going to, you can't hide it anymore. You know, like for me, I've gained weight, not happy about it. It's one of those things where you can maybe, you gain 5-10 pounds. You can kind of hide it by wearing certain things, and you can ignore it for a bit longer, but eventually you gain enough, you can hide it. It's that type of energy. I do feel like for some, and I'm not saying this to scare anybody, but it's that type of energy where maybe you're noticing something going on with your heart and you ignore it, and then eventually, you have a heart attack or something like that. I'm not calling that in, don't want that for anybody. But I'm saying it's that type of stuff. So pay attention to what areas of your body have been screaming for help. These are things that you can't ignore anymore. I know, not fun, not super fun, but that's what's coming up there. So let's see what we get for the and the cool thing is that Metatron's bringing up right now. We don't have to do this alone. We have help. Ask your guides, ask your higher self for some insight, or where's a good place to start? Where's a good, what's the first step I should take? Maybe let's pull a card on that. Do I want to use this deck, or do I want to use... We'll use this one. So let's go ahead and just ask that question. What's a good place, a good first step to take? And the whole point in doing the work and looking at these things is so we can stand in our power, we can be fully powered, and we can be 100%. And it will make our life easier. That's the whole recharge part. A lot of what's draining our energy is our inability to be authentic. So we've got the Queen of Cups. We have the Queen of Cups, and she's in reverse here. So what I'm really feeling here is just getting out of denial. And maybe just writing down the things that you've noticed, or the things you'd like to change about your physical well-being. And I'm speaking more like structurally, because we had the Tower card talking about structures that are a facade that's falling apart, a structure that is no longer able to contain the old beliefs and the old ways of being. So look at your body structurally, and what needs a tune-up? What could you improve on? And I feel like, because the message I got was what parts of you are screaming for help, I feel like this is going to be very obvious. So maybe just make a note of those areas of your body that are really screaming for help, and are just asking to be seen. So getting out of denial, accepting. You don't even have to get to the acceptance part, but just realizing, yeah, there's a problem here and I could do better. I could improve this. And the whole point of this is to take action now before it is a serious problem or an emergency or something like that. So interesting that was coming up. But it's been coming up for a lot of people. So I just think that's interesting. Okay, so let's pull a card on Neptune and looking at the... Okay, I'm going to bring in the Canary, because Canary and Neptune, I feel like, are going to go together. So, bottle number 7 in the color mirrors is Neptune energy, and it's turquoise and deep turquoise. So like I was saying, it's going deep with your emotions, seeing what's there, what can you release, what is no longer yours to carry, what emotions are tied into old belief systems that aren't even accurate anymore. The other really beautiful thing is this Neptune energy brings in faith, miracles, and those illusions. So having faith that you can shift this energy, because we totally can, and we have a lot of support and help with from our guidance system. So, and it's time to make a choice. It's either you can stay where you are and things will continue to fall apart and degrade, or you can see what's really going on and do something about it. So it's time to make a choice there. I feel like what is, for some people, this is going to be like it's going to be an entire lifestyle change. For some people, it could be, you're moving, you are somebody's relative is here. So hold on a second, it's a little disruptive. Okay, so it's a little disruptive. I'm going to move on. For some people, moving forward from the solstice, moving forward, things are going to unwind in a very chaotic way, but in a way that's going to bring in a better way of living. Is going to bring in a lot more happiness and joy, because you're going to be able to live your life from an authentic place. Okay, so the other thing that Spirit was bringing up was Canary. And the only thing, I know about canaries are they're yellow. And there's that, we used to send them down the mines, and if they died, there's gas and you don't want to go down there. That's like all I knew about canaries. As I got reading about canaries, interestingly, they weren't always yellow. They were bred to be yellow. But I feel like as we go deep, this Neptune and Canary energy really, they felt like they went together. So I'm going to read to you. Oh, I don't know if I think I was just using that book as my marker. And this is the book, The Color Mirrors, The Wisdom of the Color Mirrors. This is the book that I use the numerology in here. So that's where I get a lot of that from. And for me, it's a good starting place if I don't know where to start with a reading or a video. It's a good starting place for me. So I'm using the Animal Speak book by Ted Andrews. Looks like that. So I wanted to read to you what Canary means. So let's see. So it's talking about singing, it's talking about tone. So, we're really tapping into the throat chakra. So we have heart, solar plexus, throat chakra. So sound, whether spoken or sung, is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. With it, you can heal, enlighten, excite, stimulate, awaken intuition, and manifest joy. When the canary shows up as a totem, which it is for this solstice for us, it is time to ask yourself, what song have you been singing? Are there sour notes echoing in your life? Where are they coming from? You may find that those things you say, you may find that those things you say more lovingly will be felt more lovingly. Those things you say more sharply will cut more deeply. What you say is going to have a much greater impact as the canary awakens the power of sound and music and voice in you. So I feel like that definitely was speaking to the message about the parts of us that are screaming for help that we are ignoring. They're the sour notes. So as soon as I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is all coming together so well. So what are the sour notes in your life that it's time to change that tone? It's time to change that frequency. So it's time to send love to those parts of you. Canaries usually reflect an awakening and stimulation of the throat and heart centers of the body. This gives increased ability to feel and express feelings. Talking about Neptune, going deep with your feelings, seeing what is there, going really deep. So increased ability to feel and express feelings, learning to use your voice to bring sunshine into the lives of others will be a part of this process. And I really love that. So as you are healing those sour notes in you, you're able to bring sunshine to other people. Your healing actually helps to heal other people, and inspire other people. And I think that's really beautiful. And when you think about the summer solstice, we're thinking about the sun. We're thinking about sun energy, illuminating, enlightening, bringing to the light, expanding the light, strengthening the light. And we're being asked to do the same. So I really love that message. So let's see. Oh, okay. So it talks a little bit about sending canaries down into the coal mine to detect gases. And what is talking about here is having sensitivity to the throat and heart chakra. So I feel like this time our throat and heart chakras are being very activated, but they're also very sensitive. So taking extra care to cleanse our throat and our chakras, our heart chakra area is going to be really important. And one of the ways that you can do that is be careful to the kind of atmosphere you create with your words, as well as what you expose yourself and others to. Exposing yourself to fresh air. And when I think of fresh air, I also think of learning new things about you, learning new ways of thinking, new ways of speaking, of course, music, frequency, singing, using your throat chakra, speaking kindly to yourself. These are all ways to help strengthen your throat and your heart chakra too. Also, observe the atmospheres you expose yourself to. With time and practice, you will find your life begins to take on new tones and the sour notes are eliminated. And I felt like that was a really beautiful message. So let's pull some cards regarding Neptune, turquoise, deep turquoise, going deep with our feelings, and Canary. Actually, I think I want to use, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the Animal Guides Tarot for the Neptune and, if I can get the lid off, and Canary. Let's see what we get. So, all right, so Spirit, what would you like to say about Canary energy, throat and heart chakra? And when you think about really opening up your heart chakra, it's one of the most powerful chakras in our body because all of our energy flows through our heart chakra. So keeping that strong really makes a lot of sense. That message that I was talking about earlier, there were all of the messages about heart coming up constantly. And it's not just strengthening the auric field around the heart, but actually strengthening our heart, actually our physical body, cardiovascular, all of that. Okay, so what else is there to say about Neptune and Canary? Should we do 3 cards? All right, holy smokes. Definitely some disruptive energy in here. I don't like that. Okay, here we go. So we have the Eight of Water. I'll show these cards to you, but I just want to turn it around. Interesting. The Hermit. One of the topics they brought up was solitude, so we'll see what is going on with that. And then we have the Five of Earth. So Eight of Water, the animal totem on the card is kangaroo. It says it's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that Source will lift you to new heights and give you greater self-confidence if you affirm your freedom. And I feel like that's what the card looks like. I feel like this summer solstice, we're really being asked to free our minds and free our emotions, to no longer repress those emotions. A lot of times when we feel like we aren't free, we feel like we're stuck, we feel like we're confined or trapped, or like everything's closing in on us. It's because we're denying ourselves. We're denying our authenticity. We're denying our voice. We are closing off our emotions. So we're really being asked to look at how we're trapping ourselves. This isn't other people. There could be other people that are contributing to that, but we're looking at ourselves. How are we keeping ourselves trapped? How are we keeping ourselves small? And how that, in doing that, it's really dimming our light. It's really, it's keeping us from being fully embodied and fully expressed. So take a look at that and see what comes up for you. And as you're listening to this, there might be things popping up in your mind. Pay attention to those thoughts, those images. Because it's all about getting to a place where we have more self-confidence and we affirm our freedom, because we are truly free beings. Okay, so now the Hermit. So I found this interesting too, because when I think of a lot of the high holidays, and I focus a lot of my belief system around the pagan holidays, Wiccan holidays. I often think of the high holidays being spent with other people, being spent with like-minded souls. And so I found it interesting that Metatron was talking about solitude. But I feel like in order to do this type of work, we need that solitude. We need to give ourselves some quiet time to reflect and feel into what is true for us and what's coming up for us at this time. So the Hermit card, which the animal totem on here is Firefly. Oh, this is what I was just saying. Take time for contemplation, to retreat and go within. Be a beacon for others on their path to spiritual enlightenment. That's what the card looks like. And this is the Animal Guides Tarot. I also love the fireflies on here, that the little sparks of light. And that's what we are here to be to each other. We each bring gifts. We each bring our own unique skill set, our own unique gifts that only you can bring to the table. I mean, yeah, there could be there's a zillion, we're all psychic. Some people choose to tap into that and others don't. But everyone's going to do it in a different way. Everybody's going to connect in a different way. Same with creativity. Same channel actually, but some people are going to be really wonderful artists or musicians. We all can be creative, but it's going to be different for each one of us. It's different, and we bring different gifts to the table. But when we are being inauthentic and we're not fully expressing ourselves, we can't fully share those gifts with everybody. So I love the fireflies on here. So spend some time alone this solstice or even this weekend and see what's coming up for you, and set the intention to not be afraid to see what's there. Don't be afraid to see what's lurking below the surface. I know sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but do your best to just look at it. You don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to take action, but at least take the time to look at what's there. And then we have the Five of Earth coming up. The animal totem is the manatee. It says focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low point right now, it's not the best time to start your own business or become self-employed. What I'm feeling from, that's what the card says. What I'm feeling from this card is have faith in your spirit team. Have faith in the universe, in God, whatever it is that you believe in, whatever that is for you. Have faith that you'll have the information, the tools, the people, places, and things you need to walk through whatever difficulties you need to go through or that you are currently going through. It really is a test of faith and also miracles. And I think that's really beautiful. I think it's a really nice balance of light and dark, which is interesting because Southern Hemisphere is going into winter. I think it's a really nice, and the Hermit card's in the middle too of these three cards. So to me, it feels really like looking at it all. You know, it's because we're not all light and we're not all dark. We are a mix of all of that, and I think we're really being asked to look at that this solstice and see what's coming up. And it's also a way of freeing ourselves to bring in more freedom. The other thing with that too is it strengthens your self-confidence. So it can bring you more prosperity. It can bring you more money. You're also not going to be settling. A lot of the times we get stuck in marriages, we get stuck in relationships and in jobs that we don't like because we don't feel we're worthy of anything more. And a lot of what is coming through this summer solstice is strengthening your self-worth and really believing in yourself. That's huge, which brings me really nicely. Well, is there anything else I wanted to talk about here? I have some other notes. Hold on. Which brings me really nicely to the crystal that came up for us. Okay. Oh, okay. So the other thing that I was really feeling with that Neptune energy and also with the Canary energy, it feels like we are reconciling with our past. So it feels like for some of us, and I know I've been doing a lot of work myself in this area, it is coming to terms with our past and being okay with that. We are constantly changing and evolving. And if you are not, well, first off, you're still changing and evolving. But you might be doing it at a slower pace, at a slower rate, and you're probably feeling very frustrated and very trapped. We change. We're not meant to stay the same. Okay, we change, we grow, we evolve. So don't judge your current self on your past self because they're going to be very different. So coming to, reconciling with our past. You might hear jets flying. It might get kind of loud for a minute. I live by an Air Force base, and there are very loud jets. So if you hear that, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. But okay, so recharge. So the crystal that came up was Golden Healer. And this is a really nice, rough piece of Golden Healer that I really love. And I love this because I feel like it's such a strengthener of our solar plexus, a strengthener of our heart and our throat chakra. So if you have Golden Healer quartz magnifies energy. It strengthens our auric field. So I really love Golden Healer for that. I think that's a really beautiful thing or crystal to use is Golden Healer. I love this one too. I love that it's flat. It's like perfect for when I'm doing energy work in person. I love this one. And I just happened to find it. It was one of those cool finds. So use Citrine's good too, but for whatever reason, I'm really feeling the golden healer, and I think because there's a lot of iron in it, which is really strengthening. I also feel like working with metals is going to be very helpful. Copper came in. Copper is really great at helping to move energy through your body. Pay attention to where you are holding energy. Where are you feeling pain in your body? These are all places where our body is screaming at us, asking for help, and it's so easy to ignore it, take an aspirin, take a Tylenol, whatever, and ignore that pain. But that pain is asking for, there's emotion and situations behind physical pain. It's not just the pain. There's emotions and trauma and crap behind our diseases. It's not just the disease. So really take a deep look at that this solstice and see what comes up for you. And I feel like our guides, if you are open to it, I feel like your guides will make it very clear what's going on with you, what is asking to be shifted, and how to do that. So let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. There's a lot I could talk about, but I don't want the video to go on too long. I do want to pull. I hope this is all making sense. It makes sense in my mind, but I don't always use my throat chakra well enough to, I don't always have the words. Sometimes I can't find the words that I want. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just pull 4 cards and see what comes up. Additional advice and guidance. So work with, we'll work with whatever stone calls to you, but golden healer, citrine would be good. Amazonite for throat chakra. I'm also hearing fuchsite, which is really good for just overall regeneration of your physical health. So I think any of those would be really great. Working with the colors, olive, green, yellow, turquoise. And turquoise is so peaceful. I love turquoise energy. It has like an aquamarine type of a feeling to it. All right, let's pull 4 cards. Additional advice and guidance for us as we, I think I'm going to shuffle these other cards back in. So hold on. What else do we need to know about this summer solstice for those watching this channel now and in the future? If you're seeing this message at a later date, just know it's relevant for you and what you're going through. So it doesn't have to be around the summer solstice. I just keep hearing expression. What is it that you need to express? What is it that you are denying yourself? All right, so 4 cards to kind of wrap it up. All right, 4 cards. Let's see what we get here. And what I'm hearing is the whole point in doing this work is to bring more peace, freedom, joy, and contentment to your life. It's not to make your life difficult. But sometimes in order to get to those places of contentment, we have to look at the parts of us that we might not want to look at. Okay, we have the 4 of Pentacles. Releasing control, releasing the idea of control, releasing the, well, this is going back to those old beliefs and structures. Sometimes we try to really, force ourselves into a belief, a way of being, and then we hold on to that for dear life because we don't know if we drop all of that, if we let all of that go, we don't know what we'll have left, and that can be really scary. So we're asking to kind of drop that control. I mean, if you notice on this card, I love that there's a bird on there, but he's stone. Like it's like he's been holding on to everything for so long. He's turned to stone. There's no flexibility, there's no peace, there's no contentment, there's not any flow there whatsoever. And that does impact your ability to make money too and to have prosperity. So, But this feels more, this solstice is talking more about our physical prosperity and our emotional prosperity and our ability to connect with others in a deeper way. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse coming up. I feel like this is speaking to becoming more and more authentic, and the more authentic we become, the more empowered we are, the safer we'll feel more confident and more safe to express ourselves in an authentic way and to show up for others in a deeper way. This is also, yeah, it's not playing small, it's not dimming your light, it's not cheating yourself. We have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups in reverse here. And what I'm hearing with this, so the Eight of Cups is walking away from unhealthy ways of being. It's walking away from unhealthy relationships, just anything that has been really dimming your light and holding you back. But the message that I'm feeling with this card right now for us is it's not as hard as what you think it's going to be. I think the taking the coming to terms with it and then taking the first step to make that first change, that taking that first step can be the hardest part. And then we have the Moon. We have some really powerful cards here. So we've got the Moon in reverse. So whether, and this to me is your truth coming to light, your intuition coming online. It feels like a really powerful portal of healing. It feels, like I was saying at the beginning, like that fog is being lifted and you're able to see things so much clearer. But this is also truths coming to light, whether you want them to come to light or not. It's just easier if you, it's easier on you if it's easier on all of us if we can just come to that realization on our own. Don't allow what's happening in your life to become a tower moment. Don't wait until things are out of control to try and get some control on them. Do something about it now is really what I'm feeling here. So kind of an interesting read for summer solstice, but that's what I've got. If you have any questions, leave them, please comment below. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And if you have any ideas for videos or anything you'd like me to talk about, look at, whatever, you know, comment below. All right, we'll see you soon. Have a beautiful summer solstice. Okay, so I ended the video and I totally forgot. I didn't mention one of the reasons why I love Golden Healer quartz is it helps you to locate the imbalances in your body, the places where you're holding energy, where energy is stuck. It also helps pinpoint areas where there could be concern around illness, disease, that sort of thing. So that's why I brought up Golden Healer, and then I totally forgot to say it. So there you go. Take care.